What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Finally got the new background up back here. Let me know what you think about it. I'm super excited about it, but I'm more excited about today's topic, how to budget and how to create more freedom in your life. Let's dive in. So according to a March 2021 article by OpU, 61% of Americans don't have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency situation. Now that could be an ambulance ride for an uninsured person or a couple car repairs. Either way, the overwhelming majority of Americans can't cover these unexpected costs. Now, according to a 2018 survey, 34% of American households had at least one unexpected expense happen to them in the year prior, but only 39% of them said that they could cover that expense with their savings. According to the same survey, this is the breakdown of how they said that they cover emergency expenses. 39% use their savings. 19% use a credit card and pay it off over time. 13% reduce spending in other areas in order to afford it. 12% borrow money from family and friends. And 5% take out a personal loan. By having to rely on credit cards, borrowing money from family and friends, and taking loans from a bank, it's apparent that a large portion of the population is either budgeting for the short term or not at all. And finally, from Clutch.com, according to them, only 58% of Americans feel comfortable creating a personal budget. I want to change that. So step number one in creating your budget is to figure out your monthly income. Best way to do that, if you don't know it off the top of your head, is to get a couple paycheck stubs from the last couple weeks, add up for the month, and that'll tell you what your monthly income is. Step two is to list your expenses. So this is the hardest part for some people because you literally have to think of everything that you pay for in a given month. So anything that you're paying for, and I'm going to list some and I'm going to put them over here on the side of the screen, so that just gives you some ideas, maybe some things that you're not thinking of in your budget as you're writing yours down too. At this point, when I'm walking somebody through their budget, I don't have them list how much those expenses are, but just what the expenses actually are. So once you have your expenses listed, then you can divide your income up and see what needs to go where in each expense line. So I've created a fake budget here on the basis of $3,500 per month. Your income may be more than that, it may be less, but this is just for an example. So you would start with your $3,500, that's your monthly income. From there, I've written out a few basic expenses that most people have. You can be as fancy or as frugal as you want to with this. Our budget definitely has changed from the original envelopes that we had to the ones that we have now, but this is just for basics. Your expenses also may be different depending on where you live or how many children you have, for example, or things like that. But again, do it for you. This is just the example. So I'm assuming a mortgage of $600, car insurance for $100, gasoline for the car for $200, groceries at $500, cell phone at $60, water bill at $75, and electric bill at $165. With all of those things combined, you're looking at, from your $3,500 a month income, you're left over with $1,300 per month. Now, this is where you can start adding some things, and again, just a fake budget here. But if you're a giver or a tither, you can add in your 10% that you're going to do, or whatever your percentage is that you like to give. That would be a little bit more. If you're like us, we ditched cable and we got just Netflix and a host of other small things for less than $20 a month. From there, you can add things like fund money, life insurance. You need to be adding to an emergency fund of some sort. Even if it's $20 that you put in there, you've got to remember what we talked about in the beginning, which was that most people can't cover a $1,000 emergency expense that happens to them. Let's change all that. Let's start putting money away slowly, steadily, and watch it get up to that $1,000 and become in the other group of people, that other group that can afford to have those unexpected expenses. Now, in preparation for this video, I actually looked back and found some of our old envelope systems that we used and we still use now, but these are our old envelopes from when we first started budgeting. I'm going to talk about those versus what we do now. So the envelopes that we had before: direct TV bill, water bill, Verizon bill, furniture bill, emergency fund, insurance, that would be car insurance, electric bill, we had a car loan, house payment, food money, and gas for the car. Those were our envelopes that would fill up each month. So before I go any further, I do want to explain the envelope system and why it's so important. I mean, this system alone has saved us so much money. It's kept us on track when we would have gotten off track otherwise. So with the envelopes, whether it's food or anything else, whatever your expenses are for the month, we put these envelopes together, and say for food, if you say on your budget that you're going to spend $500 this month in food, then that's the amount of money that you put in this. You actually carry this to the store with you, and you pull the money out as you spend it. No credit card swiping, no debit card swiping. It comes from the envelope. That keeps you on track. It also keeps you from spending money frivolously or impulse buying, because you actually see the cash leaving the envelope. You feel it getting thinner, and it makes you spend a whole lot less than you would have. So we've been doing that for a few years now. That's how we do it. It works for us. It's really helped us and helped us stay on track. These days, we actually have a wallet. This is a wallet type thing that my wife got. Not that much money at Walmart, and so it makes it a lot easier to carry this around than it did all the envelopes kind of just around in her purse or in a bag or something. So this was a major deal for us too. This really helped us be able to stay focused, and she liked it. So another important part of this is we only put envelopes in here for the expenses that are not direct deposited out. So if I look at our budget, our actual budget versus our envelopes, next to them they have auto on some of them. So on some of these, they're automatically withdrawn out, so it's not something that we'd put in an envelope and take physically somewhere. That would be something like our mortgage. Our mortgage is auto-drafted out. Our auto insurance is auto-drafted out. Our life insurance is auto-drafted out. Cell phones, Netflix, Wi-Fi, I mean, they're automatically come out. So we don't have as many envelopes to carry around now because we do so much auto draft. Another thing to consider as I'm looking at my budget that I think is really important to add to the video is cutting your expenses. So once you have all of these listed down and you see what you're actually paying each month or what you want to pay, and you compare that to your income, there may be some things that you want to cut out. I've done budgets with people that saw what they're actually spending on cigarettes per month, and they quit smoking cigarettes. I've had sat down and done budgets with people that see what they're paying on their credit cards and how much interest it's costing them, and they've completely cut them out. There have been so many opportunities like that to be able to cut expenses, and even really beyond that. If you take something like your car insurance, your auto insurance, if you call them and say, hey, is there anything we can do to lower this bill? You know, I'm budgeting now, and this is pretty high, and I'm going to have to shop this around if it can't be lowered. You might be surprised how quickly just getting on the phone with somebody with things like that, and you can do that with a couple different bills that possibly you have, and just see what they're willing to do. So that's a good way to be able to cut your expenses. So what we actually carry with us now would be groceries. That's just food, and that really counts as food when we go to eat out, and food from the grocery store. So we have a fun money envelope too, to where we can eat out on, so it's a little extra, kind of like an overflow tank. But this is what we keep our eye on to see what we've got left. We've got household. So household is anything that we'd get for our house, whether it be paper towels, toilet paper, things like that, cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, that all comes out of household, and we have a budget line item for that. We've got water, so our water bill. Our electric bill is another one. gas. So we do gasoline in cars. We've got a tithe envelope. Birthday, Christmas. Listen. Get yourself a birthday / Christmas envelope. This has saved us so much, and it's anything like that is so much less stressful now. So Christmas doesn't sneak up on you. Birthdays, they don't. It's every year the same day. So if you have money that you put back, whether you put in $25 a month or $20 a month or even less, or maybe more if you want to, depending on what you're wanting to spend on Christmas and people's birthdays, you can actually take it out of here. It's been put in all year long. It's so much simpler than trying to go last minute, throwing a bunch of stuff on your credit card and overspending. That's a huge one. And finally, we've got fun money. So we've got fun money. It can be $100, it can be $500. It's whatever you have left over in your budget that you can basically throw away. And that may seem like a lot to some people, but the truth is, once you do your budget and you see what you're actually spending on things, a lot of people's budget is going, which they don't have one, but a lot of their money is going into just fun money, frivolous things, impulse buying. So now when you have this, it gives you permission that month. It gives yourself permission, or if you're a married couple, it gives each other. It gives you guys, you can have each one of you guys have your own fun money, or you can have one together. You can do whatever you want to. It's your budget. But the budget is not a restriction. It actually brings freedom. So if you want to go out to a movie, you just pull it from your fun money for that month. If you want to grab something at the store that you didn't go to the store for, let it come out of fun money. So have some fun too while you're doing it. The last thing that we've got is our budget change. So that was one of our biggest things, was we're carrying around all these envelopes. We're actually using cash, so that gives us change back to carry around. We didn't want that in our pockets, in our car, and all that stuff. So we just did a little bag. It says budget change on there. We keep that in the back of the this little wallet thing, and it just makes it a lot simpler. So again, guys, it's your budget. You're in control of it. Nobody's restricting you. Having it doesn't restrict you. It actually opens you up to be able to do so much more. Your dollars they have a place to go to now, rather than going wherever they want to go. It's an important piece of this to remember that this is a zero-based budget. So don't get afraid when you have no money left over. I mean, you are budgeting down to the last dollar. If your budget is $3,500, you want to have $3,500 worth of expense line items, and it can be savings, can be one of them. There can be the emergency fund, one of them. We've got a couple where now we have a home repair fund. So if something breaks, or we want something, we want a new door, we want a new whatever, right? It comes out of our home repair fund. And so we're not scrambling last minute to try to find money to do something. It's in our fund. We have an investment fund. So if money that we put in there every single month that can go out and be invested in different things. We can buy and sell a car for more than we paid for it. We can flip furniture. We can put it in the stock market. We can save it up and buy an investment property. There are so many things that you can do, but it gives you the freedom to know where your money's going. It's a zero-based budget. There should be no dollars left over not knowing where they go. So just specify where you want your dollars to go and put them to work for you. It's also important to remember that your first budget is going to be wrong. Just go ahead and get that out of the way. It's going to be wrong. It's going to take you about 3 months to find out that you actually need more money for groceries than you're allowing. In our first budget, I believe I put something like $200 a month. It was way too low, and other categories were way too high. But over the next few months, as you do this, you're going to be able to learn, this is what we actually spend. This is realistic. This is where we're not necessarily strangling ourselves, starving ourselves, but this allows us to do this over here instead of wasting all of our money on all of this food or all of this eating out or whatever it is that you maybe go overboard with. And sometimes people go underboard. They do they spend way too little thinking that they don't have enough. But when you write it out, you see that you actually have money to do a lot more things. The freedom that this has allowed us to have is absolutely incredible. It doesn't feel restrictive. It doesn't feel hard to do. It has allowed us to do so much. There's so many categories that you can put in. You can just do a giving fund. You can just have money sitting there to be able to tip your waiter or waitress just an abnormal amount of money. There's so many things that you can do from this that allow you to have freedom, but it also boils down to knowing where your money's going so that you can then save some of it to invest to further yourself in your own life. You need to be putting money back into retirement. You need to be investing your money and not just working paycheck to paycheck for the rest of your life. You need, at some point, you've got to get this thing under control and stop overspending. And I'm not saying that everybody that's watching this is doing that, but I specifically believe that there are going to be people that watch this that are overspending like crazy. And once you put it down on paper, you're going to be surprised at how much money is going out of the door that could be going to work for you instead of you going to work for money the rest of your life. There's a freedom in it, guys. There is a freedom in it. And I hope if you've watched up until this point, I really hope that you'll take this seriously, that you'll get on a written budget, that you'll make the decision to do it, because there's so much freedom. I keep saying it over and over, but there's so much freedom in it. You can put dollars back to be able to go on the vacation. You can put dollars back to be able to give to people outrageously, generously. You can put money back to do all of these awesome things, but it comes from the original budget of getting under control, controlling your spending. Imagine what you could do if you were able to wipe out debt. Imagine what you'd be able to do if you'd be able to save more money. Imagine what you'd be able to do if you got your finances together. With that being said, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section below. Reach out to me. I'd love to help you. This is one of the things that I'm so passionate about. I've been able to be in a couple different job positions in my past to where I've been able to sit down with people and walk through their budgets. I love doing it. I love showing people that it's possible, that they can do things that they didn't think they could do. I love it. So reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you. Thanks for watching, guys. One more thing. So I'm going to do something kind of fun with my fun money for the month because I want to. And most people aren't going to watch this video all the way through and learn, because they're not really paying attention to their finances. But you are, because you're still listening. And I want to reward you for that. So if you comment "no limits" with an exclamation point in the comment section below, I'm going to enter you in to win $100. I'm going to give it away. So anybody that watches this all the way through comments "no limits" with an exclamation point, you're going to be entered in. $100, easy as that. So good luck, guys. Thanks for watching.